Will you be there when the stars align?
Hello everyone, welcome back to the TJOmega channel for day 1250 of our daily content grind, and today for you, I am answering a Patreon request because many of us are excited for the new Monster Hunter game dropping at the end of the month. I'm very excited for it, my friends are very excited for it. I've already got like 2 friend groups that want me in their hunting party for that game. I need to brush up on Monster Hunter World. I have not played much of that one, and apparently it's by the same people who, the Wilds is by the same people who made that game, so I'm gonna need some time to brush up before then. However, I had a Patreon request coming in asking if I could reassign the Beast Wars cast to have beast modes of Monster Hunter creatures. And this is a little bit tricky because frankly not every Beast Wars character has a one-to-one selection here. There isn't really a good option for, say, Rat Trap. I can make him a Lagombi if I want to make him a rabbit, but I would use Stampy for that. And that's not the goal today. The goal here is to replace the Beast Wars cast. Now, I'm not going to do every single Beast Wars character. Like I said, there's some that just do not have really good equivalents. And before we begin, I'm going to mention this. This is one of those franchises where everyone seems to have their own pronunciation for the names of monsters. I can't tell you how many times I have heard Brachydios pronounced as my favorite monster when me and my friends all agreed on Brachydios. And no, I don't care how Capcom officially pronounces it. Brachydios sounds dumb. So, you'll excuse me if the pronunciation on these aren't exactly the right ones. Also, I'm pulling deep into Monster Hunter to get a few of these monsters, so you'll forgive me if it's just a little off. For starting off, Optimus Primal I think is pretty obvious. I'm going to get a few obvious ones out of the way first, and then we're going to get into weird ones later on. I think a Rajang is pretty much exactly what he's supposed to be. Look at it, it's a gorilla. It's a gorilla with horns. I can't get much closer to Optimus Primal unless they put an actual gorilla in the game. That was more self-explanatory, right? That one's easy, right? And I think Megatron is easy too. Now, here's the thing. There are 2 options for Megatron. Anjanath would be real easy. It's just a T-Rex. That's literally just a T-Rex in Monster Hunter, and that would be easy, but I want to go a little beyond that. Now, keeping in mind, there's tons of dragons in the game that would absolutely fit his Transmetal 2 form. We're going to stick to the base forms for everything for the most part, just so you know. But honestly, I want it to be a Devil Joe. I know that might be a bit extreme for just Form 1 Megatron, but I think the whole point of the character choices in Beast Wars really is to make the Predacons feel far more intimidating. When their leader is a T-Rex, that's kind of scary. So I want to convey that as well with this version of Megatron that we're inventing for a fictional Monster Hunter collaboration. I want him to be intimidating, and there's nothing more intimidating than being in the middle of a hunt and all of a sudden you hear this thing stomping in. Hey guys, what are you doing? Eat, eat, eat. That's Devil Joe. That's the Great Pickle himself. So you know what? Yeah, I would go with Megatron there. This seems easy. I admit. It's basically another T-Rex, but I'm picking the scarier one here. Black Arachnia. Now, yeah, I will give an arachnophobia warning here, but then again, Black Arachnia is already on screen, so that's not helping. But yeah, like there's spiders. There's absolutely spiders. We have Nersilla, who I think is the best pick. And then, especially now I'm sticking the base forms here, but if you do account for her Transmetal 2 form, this even has the colors. Right, if we're going by that form. So this would absolutely fit in with Black Arachnia. I mean, it's super creepy, and it's like a way buffer than Black Arachnia typically is. But I don't think you're going to get a better match as far as spiders go in the game. I mean, I could figure out something for Tarantulas as well. I don't think it's the only spider monster there is. But you know what? I will take it. I will take it. I think it's a better choice for Black Arachnia than it is for him. So we're gonna pick Black Arachnia on this list. Air Razor, I actually have a few choices for that I could have picked from. Bird wyverns are a category of creature in Monster Hunter. The problem there is that many of them, the ones called bird wyverns, tend toward more to like what we would like, what common like everyday viewer out there would call a raptor of some sort. A lot of her options would basically amount to like an Archaeopteryx, where it's reptilian, but it does have feathers and it does have flight. We keep in mind birds are the closest thing we have to modern dinosaurs, so bird wyverns, that's actually correct. If I want to go with just a monster that just defines bird, I do have to go outside her species a little bit and make it a Malfestio. And I do love this bird. I do love this monster. I mean, yes, it's just a big owl. I will admit, as far as creatures in Monster Hunters goes, it's not the most imaginative thing. It's a big owl. But you know what? I think just personality-wise, I think it fits Air Razor better than a lot of the other possibilities that I could have selected for this list. I just think I think it has the right look. I think it has the right attitude to it to actually match what I like out of Air Razor. There is no just normal falcon in the game. I can't just make her a normal bird because that's not really a thing, much as I would like to. This is about as close as it gets to just here's a bird. I think it is the closest we would actually be able to manage. Dancing around a little bit here, what about Rampage? Because there are crustacean monsters in the game. There's actually several that I could have chosen from. But if I'm going to my and I was going through a few. Keep in mind, as you've noticed, I'm not really concerned about color scheme here. Because that would be a really, really hard fit. It's like, oh, well, if I'm picking Rampage, it's got to be something orange. That would make this impossible. So we're really just kind of worried about, okay, if they landed on the Monster Hunter planet, what beast modes would they scan? Which ones would associate? If we are assuming the Beast Wars thing of, if you scan the beast mode, it's because it's compatible with what your robot mode can do, right? So I can't just, if I'm a small rodent style maximal, I can't scan a bat in order to fly. I have to have flying as a thing that my form is capable of doing. Okay, that's a long explanation. Just go I'm trying not to go too far with this. That said, a Stone Fist Hematar has his colors. Those are Rampage colors right on those claws, the orange and the purple. I don't know how that managed, but I will accept it. Now, a Hematar are based on hermit crabs, and admittedly, there are better crustaceans that are more like crab-like, more king crab-like. I'm not only going by just how colors match up here. I'm going by, this one's a way more intense fight, and I think a way more intimidating creature. I mean, it is using, what was it, a Diablo skull as its home? That's kind of scary. That's kind of intimidating. Also, this is a creature I hate fighting. I hate fighting, big Hematars. I will accept, I will put that in the list simply because, if I'm going to go up against something, it's going to remind me of Rampage, it's going to be a Hematar. I think that's about as close as I can get. We're going to get some weird ones in here every now and then. Now, keep in mind, there are ants in Monster Hunter. These little tiny ones. But I'm not going with that. I'm trying to stick to just normal monsters, like things that can actually target and threaten the player. You know, things that you know the game's for. Though for this one, there's one bug I really, really like. I'm gonna throw it in. I will admit it's not a good fit. But I want an Antal-Ka. I know this is closer to a mantis. This is a mantis. It's a mantis that took a detour into Egypt. I just want it in there. I can't have Man Terror in this because we're sticking to the main Beast Wars cast. So at the very least, let me have this. There's no good ant monster that I can make Inferno from. But if we're going by the way Inferno was depicted in Season 1, where he's supposed to be this really powerful, threatening enemy, then yeah, Antal-Ka was the boss character of its game. Like, this was a final boss monster. I would have really, really liked to have gotten this as some kind of transforming toy. Let me have this one. Okay, I promise the rest of them will mesh. I will be much closer with the rest of them, and I'm lying through my teeth because I know which ones are coming up. But let me have this. I know it's not a great fit, but I want it in there. Just let me have it. It's an insect, it counts. Scorponok is one I also thought I would have to take a little bit of an exception on. Because I couldn't think of a scorpion offhand, because I will admit, my Monster Hunter experience begins with 3 Ultimate, and I have not been able to put in the time on World and Rise that I really would have liked to. I've played enough of both, but not as much as I would like to, and not enough to get to the monsters that are later in the game. So, admittedly, I'm working with a limited knowledge base here, but that's where research comes in. So this is an Akura Vashimu, and it is just straight up a crystal scorpion. And this thing looks amazing. I absolutely love how this looks. This one was a really deep, obscure pull. This is gonna be very unprofessional. I'm gonna try to pull it up really quick just so I can figure out a little bit more about it. But yeah, this is one where form factor and color just goes straight in with what the character is supposed to be. I like the crystalline. I love the overall like design of it. Monster Hunter Frontier Season 3 specifically. Yeah, I had to pull. That game came out in 2008. Bring it back. Like, I love the look of this monster. Bring it back, Capcom. Please. I would love you forever. I mean, you make Mega Man. Well, you used to make Mega Man. I'm trying to give you an out here. I can't find one. Make a new Mega Man. Here's one that has a lot of options, and I had a lot of trouble choosing. What do you do with Tigerhawk? Because, frankly, like, he does have a body form that could have worked with many of the wyverns. Any of them with wings. Here's the thing. Sometimes I need to go a little bit outside. I will admit, everything from here on out goes outside of their normal body form because I'm trying to find a better pick or because I want the character in, but there really isn't a good option. So, for instance, for Tigerhawk, I want the Zinogre. Now, I'm going to make it an Apex Zinogre, but I will fully acknowledge that while the body shape is perfect for it, there are no wings. I will admit, I am going against my own rules that I made earlier by stating that this is a monster, by stating that Tigerhawk should have wings, but I'm not giving them to him in the Monster Hunter form. Keeping in mind, Tigerhawk never scanned a beast mode, and wasn't a character who could scan a beast mode. So, like, we're already breaking rules for this list. I'm putting him in because I need the electrical power. Right? Like, because that was Tigerhawk's thing, is weather control and being able to, like, call down lightning. That's a Zinogre. And I need him in here somewhere, right? Because, like, we're going to get Rathalos as Optimus Prime. I need someone to be a Zinogre. It's not going to be Tigerhawk if they ever make that toy. Well, character-wise, it's not. I think the mold would be perfect. But you know what? I'm giving myself some cheats, and I'm going to be cheating from here on out. There's not too many left here. I didn't want to go too long on this video because the video's been super long lately. I'm rambling now. But when I get into characters like Rhinox, for instance, the options get very limited. There's no real good Rhino in Monster Hunter. I Googled, I searched the wikis. I could not find anything that gave me, like, a good Rhino. Like, I mean, there's Rhino-esque monsters in the game, but, like, they're usually just, like, the local wildlife. They're not the big ones you go hunt. I want big ones you go hunt. You know, so I had to keep more to body type. I had to keep more to, like, the style of, like, what a rhino would be. I settled on a Doramboros. I'm not thrilled with the choice, but coloring works perfectly. It's brown and green and tan. That's Rhinox colors. It does have the similar strike. I mean, it's only two-legged. It's a wyvern, but it's a brute wyvern. But personality, shape-wise, it works. It works for me enough. Like, even right down to the fact that, like, the skin hangs off of it the way a rhino's skin does. Like, this seems like the closest I can get to what Rhinox would transform into. You'll forgive me if it's just a little out there, but I like it. I like the choice myself. One of the ones I struggle with, and I'm really upset about this, is Dinobot. Now, you're dealing with what is, I consider to be the best written character in all of Transformers. One of the most beloved characters of the entire Beast Wars franchise. But he does turn into a raptor. And unfortunately, raptors in this game all tend to be the lower ones. Like, they are usually baby's first monster. You know, so it's like the great Jaggy here, who's like, if it's in the game, it's going to be the first big monster you go hunting. There's no good option. Like, I can make him the Anjanath, you know, kind of make him a rival to Devil Joe Megatron in that way. But that's really the best I got. Like, I hate to do it to Dinobot. I feel like I'm doing Dinobot dirty here. But, like, it would work, especially if they actually make a toy of something like a Great Jaggy for a crossover. That mold would absolutely be the one they choose. But it does feel like I'm not giving Dinobot his due justice, right? It works. It's his beast mode, but it's just not in character with him. I'm sorry, Rhinox. There's nothing I can do about this. I apologize profusely. Really, if we were going to get this one as one of the crossover toys, they probably use the mold they did for Jurassic Park, because it even has the frills engineered in and everything. That'd be a closer one. But yeah, Dinobot I would love to include, but I don't think there's a solid enough choice for him. Anjanath in a pinch, right? And I'm going to wrap it up with this one, to go against my own rules again, but it seems appropriate. I wish there was a giant flying insect monster in Monster Hunter, at least one that I can remember offhand. I can't remember any offhand. My quick research before this video didn't turn any up. Would it be mean if I made him a Vespoid? They're just the little annoying bugs. They are the little wasps of Monster Hunter, but you know what? They also blow apart into bits in a single hit. So it's mean to do to Waspinator, and it goes against my rule. So I wanted monsters, like technically, yeah, they do harm them. They can harm you. They can technically harm you. But I think as a joke, I think it would be funny, because it's kind of appropriate Monster Hunter-wise and Beast Wars-wise. So, those are the ones I came up with. Like I said, most of the Beast Wars cast, like, what do I do with a cheetah? I'm not going to make him a Nargacuga, because I'm not going to give Cheetor wings. We saw how that went in Beast Wars. It doesn't always go great. But you know what? There's plenty of room to grow, and if we go outside the Beast Wars cartoon, oh my god, there's so many options. So let me know in the comments below. I want to know your choices. Characters I left off, monsters they should be. That's the mission for you Monster Hunter fans. Figure out what Beast Wars characters are going to go with your favorite monsters. And that'll do it for me today. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.
The day is getting closer. My journey is almost over. And when it is, our journey begins. The question is, when the stars align, Will you be there?